السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله ومن والاه. MashaAllah, a beautiful gathering. Thanks for the invitation and having me here. I've been, like brother said, about 23 years ago I started in this field. And alhamdulillah, I was the first Palestinian Muslim police officer in Texas. Alhamdulillah. So 23 years later, I wanted to expand my service to the community by becoming sheriff over the county. That way, when our little ones grow up, they look at somebody as a role model from the community, something that's not very common, something we don't see a lot, right? When was the last time you got pulled over by a Muslim cop? Doesn't happen, right? So, and when you do, or if you do, and let's say if it happens to be me, encounter would be a little different, right? Yep. Even though it's the same procedures and everything, but then you look at it and you say, oh, mashallah, Muslim brother, right? Like one time I stopped a guy from, Muslim brother from Arlington in the masjid, and it was like in the middle of nowhere, right, in small world, and he was bragging about like, I wish he gave me a ticket so I can prove it, like, that I got pulled over by Muslim. It was funny. So, what this is representation of, instead of having us, our community, guys, this is for y'all, this is for you too. Just, I'm only here for a few minutes, so I would like your attention. Because maybe, for this to happen, for me to do this, it has inspired a lot of our young ones to grow up and become police officers. I go to a lot of schools and I speak to a lot of schools and students and stuff like that. And what I do is I talk to them about this profession, and a lot of them have grown up to become police officers. Right? And it's more of it's more common right now that I see people in the police academy where I teach with name Mohammad, Abdurrahman, Zakaria, etc., right? From different parts of the world, from Bangladesh to Morocco to Iraq to Palestine to name it. We have people come in, which is great. Now, all professions are great, but we have a lot of people that focus on one thing. We have a lot of people that focus on, IT, great. We have a lot of people that focus on medicine, great, we need it. We have a lot. But what happened to judicial system, judges, prosecutors, police officers, and all these other professions, right? Because instead of when you go to a case and you say, well, he sentenced me because I was this, or because I'm Muslim, and he looked at how I look, whatnot. Why don't we have like a little diversity from our community in those different professions, right? It makes it more. It becomes more representation, and this is something that we have, and that's why I'm doing this. So when what's his name, mashallah? What's your name? Omar. So when Omar comes up to me and I give him a little sticker, for example, and he puts that on his chest and he's all proud that he's got a sticker, which I'm going to give you one right now. Yeah. So yeah. So when I give Omar, for example, a sticker, come here. And now Omar, yeah, and then Omar becomes Officer Omar, right? All right, get to work. Yalla. So what happens, you see, this right here, he's going to remember until he grows older. And then maybe that will inspire him. Because how do I know? Because that's what happened with me when I was his age. Exactly what happened with me. And of course, I don't remember it, but then subconsciously, it affected me positively. And alhamdulillah, it had made a lot of difference in this. The other thing, and the other positive that you can make out of this is that, we all love da'wah, and we all love to do like some kind of da'wah and somewhat, and a lot of us think, oh, I have to have a degree and I have to have this. You don't. Your name tag should be good enough. In my case, for example, going to certain places, for example, or just on duty or working with people, and people see my name. Of course, they look at me, shaved head and everything like that. Of course, back when I didn't have a beard on, when they didn't allow it, they think, oh, who are you? Like, but then when they see the word Mohammad and they look, oh, when did you convert? When did you, right? There are all these questions, right? But then a lot of people would actually start asking about, oh, you Muslim? First question, right? And throughout my 23 years, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, Allah give us the reward for it, over 40 people entered Islam through the uniform. Okay, and this is, I didn't go tell him, hey, take shahada now. We're doing no, none of that stuff. It's like the way that Deen al-Mu'amala, right? It's like how you deal with people, right? So I'm not going to make it long, but this is what I want to say. It's just representation is great. We want representation in all the fields, not just certain ones, and just monopolize these professions, and leave the other things that could be making a lot of difference. So we encourage the youth, for example, I mean, growing up to become, you know, in let's say, join law enforcement, for example, become police officers, make a difference, right? Because trust me, I've seen a lot where I pull over somebody. I remember the first Muslim Arabi guy I think I pulled over, he was so nervous, his hands were shaking. And he didn't know it was Arabi, right? So I played along and I pulled a prank on him and whatnot. And when he finally knew Arabi, like, Allahu Akbar, into Arabi, like, you're Arabi. It's like, yes, calm down, right? And it's funny. Or like say, for example, I pulled over one time a lady from over down like in the east part of Dallas, and she said, "Oh, mashallah, you're sister, what's your name's wife, right? You're her husband, right? Like, I know your wife, she's my friend." So it's good to have these things, right? But I mean, don't ask me for a break. That's not gonna. Okay. So with that said, so right now we have an election season coming up. All right, it starts on Tuesday. For that, I just want to say this, and I conclude, is that your vote, okay, is your power that you're obligated to use. Okay, it's coded by me. It's your power. Your vote is your voice, your opinion, to voice your opinion is an obligation on you. Don't just sit down and stay silent. And like some people like, if you see a munkar, you change it with your hand. If you can't do it, then with your tongue. And if you can't do it, then with your heart. That's the weakest level of iman. We don't want to be the weakest level of iman. We want to be the ones that go out and do the action, right? So use your voice, use your vote, and go out and vote your conscience and vote for people that you think are good, right? That you study them and research them. And when you go, take people with you. Really, take people with you, and encourage other people to do it, and get rid of it on Tuesday, and that way you don't have to worry about standing in line on the 2 more Tuesdays from after that, March 5th. Jazakumullah khair, ahsanallahu alaykum. I'm here. I'll leave my contact number with the brothers. If there's anything I can do for the community, inshallah, I'll be here. Jazakumullah khair.
Jazakumullah khair.
Inshallah, we'll pray.
I was hoping you would have a dinner with us.
Wallahi, you know what?